I learned that Granblue's Fantasy Gacha, you have to save up stones and tickets to hit the ceiling to get the character you want. He didn't get a single rate up. See? Why do you think I'm complaining about this stupid ass banner? I wasn't expecting much since this finally Granblue's first collab gacha after 10 years, but I suspected lol. SSR 3%, pickup rate 1%. No free use of campaign, ceiling is 300, so that's spark. Performance so-so, isn't it? Both are shady side games. I always lack thought. If this is a result of all that thought, it's even worse, lol. If you like Tensura and thinking about starting Granblue, you should not start. First of all, even if you start, you're not guaranteed to get these two characters and the performance is not great. I understand that it was announced that performance should be subdued, but it is incorporated. Okay, now that I'm actually reading some of these comments too, right? At least I feel like some people are actually starting to see what I've been trying to say as well. Because the stuff they mentioned in the past, right? It just doesn't make any sense, you know? They're saying that they do not want that they're trying to put Collab Gacha, but they do not want it to be as strong as, usable for Guild War and such. But and then at the same time, it's like, it kind of defeats the purpose of rolling in the first place, right? If you want people to actually like put in money or stuff to roll for shit, right? You need to incentivize them for like, instead of just, oh, I want to roll because of fucking waifu and shit, right? I know there's people like that. No doubt there's gonna be people like that, right? It kind of defeats majority of the purpose where you want to try to like, in a business point of view, you want to make it even more worthwhile for everyone else, right? Rather than just that particular category of players, isn't it? It doesn't fucking make sense there. It's like if they're planning to put in the gacha, right? I feel like they need to at least make them a little bit like not garbage. Because right now it feels like they're garbage. 5.8! Yes! Dude, I've never seen any gacha characters rated that low before. So the nuke is 800k base cap. But base cap damage is this amount? Oh, it's plain. No wonder. 50% defense down. And then supplemental is 30k. 20% skill cap. 30% special cap. Actually fucking garbage, man. You know what's the only good thing about this guy I see so far? This thing. It says a lot if this is actually the best thing this guy has. From what I can see about his numbers, right, this is literally the best thing about him. Everything else is fucking hot garbage, man. Everything else about him is so shit though. It's seriously so bad. You want him to be usable? You need Rimuru. I can totally understand if the characters are standalone. If the characters are standalone, it's actually a lot better. That will mean you're not restricted in character usage. So in that sense, it's like you can use other characters alongside with whichever characters that maybe you get or something, right? I was originally thinking going into this supposedly gacha collab with that kind of character, but it's a lot worse than I thought. Like, I know they said they're not going to be that strong, but I didn't know it'll be hot garbage. You guys remember how much we meme Chat Noir? Like how shit he was back in the day, right? He was meme for a good reason, because he was really, really bad at that time. And also because his name is Chat, right? For the most part. So you kind of like meme that in like on streams and such. From what I can see from these two, right? They are like at that tier right now. And this is 2024 we're talking about. Just compare these guys to these, right? I would even say, right? These two, Shion and Diablo, right? It's probably worse than even like the likes of this. Or even this guy. Even this. Even this. Even though they're supposed to be the joke characters, right? And they're fucking memes, right? I feel like they're even worse than that. And then even back then, if you compare even this guy, right? I would even say this guy at least has some use as well. It's just that, yeah, he hasn't gotten any rebalance and he's super dated as hell, right? He's a 2017 collab character. And that says a lot. It's not even worth it. You're basically getting them just so you can actually like be the like Nakamura. You guys remember what Nakamura flexed the other time, right? This was not Nakamura was flexing. I feel like that's the main reason why you want to roll. Just for this. Just so you can actually get the bingo or 901 characters. That's the total amount of characters we have in the game right now. That's basically what you want to flex. If you're trying to roll for these characters. That's really the only thing you will get them for. Honestly. There's no reason for you to get them to even use them. Remember how I was shit on back in the day where I was being too harsh on these collab characters? They were saying, so Mr. Streamer, These are free characters though. Why are you putting in so much emphasis on these kind of characters? I was shit on by the comment section back then because of that. Then I changed. I was like, okay, since you put it that way, all right, let me be a little bit softer because they're free. But now they're not free, right? So now we can compare to these guys right here. This whole list here. We can compare them to that. Because they're equally the same, right? They're not even close to most of the characters in here. Here. Any of these. Not even close. Even like, yeah, like say like Paris. You guys remember how shit Paris is? Oh god. You guys remember how garbage this guy is? At least this guy has more use compared to the other guys. Why? Because this guy is standalone. Doesn't require XX other character. Forced to use XX other character. Only the character will function. Worse than Visa Zoe? You're not wrong. See, there's a huge difference, you know. She's standalone. Why? Because you in your 4-man party, right, Shad? Your 4-man party, you have one shit character. And then at least your 3 other characters is something else, right? You can actually pump... You have like 3 good characters there. You have this one shit character. But on this, on the other hand, you're forced to use shit. And then maybe if you're using Diablo as well, another shit. And then you have Rimuru maybe for medium at most. Because we can't really say much about Rimuru now, right? Because we don't know how's his full Lumberback going to be. But for what I can see, at least the skill set of Rimuru is actually pretty good. So far. Oh, not super good, but I would say at least it's serviceable. Yeah, that's what I can say about his skill set right now. It functions, honestly, what we can actually kind of like expect when it comes to free collab characters this day and age. Here's another point of view I would put in onto the table. Let's just say, right? Let's just say Cygames decided to put these 2 characters. Let's just say they are really good, like maybe not like insanely good, like top tier meta or whatever. Let's just say they're viable in Guild War. Like viable, like for example, maybe take Athena. I wouldn't say Athena's meta, right? Would you guys agree to that? Athena's good, right? Usable, good, not meta, right? If the new collab characters are like that, I wouldn't actually feel that bad about it. Because at least it would give people like, it would actually give like the people an actual reason to not feel too bad about rolling. It makes more sense in like a business point of view, you know, gacha game kind of thing. It makes more sense that way, which I can actually get behind because, you know, it's like, yeah, it's gacha game. I can kind of understand what they're trying to do, right? It makes sense that way, right? Isn't it? If they put it their power level somewhat similar to like how Athena is in a way. I mean, I'll still be mad, obviously, because, you know, they would create basically FOMO, right? But to me, in that sense, I'm not too mad about that because it's to be given, right? We all knew what we were signing up for when we were playing this game in the first place, right? Because end of the day, gacha game will always will have FOMO. Full stop. There's nothing we can do to stop that because that's how gacha game is and that's how they get you to spend the money. That's how it is. We can't do anything about it. Whatever we say, we don't like it, sure, nothing's gonna stop them from doing it. But for some reason, they decided to just take that shit all away and make them as hot garbage as possible in a 3% gacha banner of all things. That's the thing that I was like, wait, what? What are you trying to prove here? What are you trying to pull here? I don't know, man. Who's the director? Nobody knows. It wasn't announced. Because now, this banner really opened their eyes. I already told you guys it's gonna be fucking bad. But for some reason, between that summer thing, until now, before this thing came out, nobody really mentioned anything about it. Because in my point of view, in my opinion, I would say, if people actually mention it beforehand, in that time frame, they can, okay, you know what, let's pull back. Instead, now it's like, oh, they already pulled the trigger, and then you decided to tell them to say, hey, fuck off and with that shit. I feel like it's a little bit too late for that, isn't it? Yeah, exactly, right? I feel like it should have been talked about this long ago. I tried, I made a video about it, nobody was talking about it. Instead, people were flaming me for talking shit about the seasonal jutens instead. What the fuck? Like some people were agreeing with me about how shit this is gonna be, but it just basically just stopped there, and then nobody really spoke about it ever. I feel like not everyone, but a lot of people were like just coping the fact that it was going to be a good thing. I'm like, bro, please. This kind of shit can never be a good thing, man. Never, bro. Never. See, chat, I told you so, right? I knew this was going to happen. I told you guys so. And then the funny thing is that, wait, let me go back again. Hold on a second. This is the only thing they mentioned. Now suddenly we have 30 roles. Really makes you think, right? When they announced this at that time, I'm fairly certain they read the comments. They go like, wait, we only get 10 roles from these people going fucking ballistic and shit? And I'm pretty sure in that 2 weeks, they decided, okay, we need to add more. 30 roles. You know what's the best part about all things? If Cygames literally didn't just stuck with what they originally did in the past, people would go like, woo, shit, let's go, blah, 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 blah. Cygames is like, let's try something different. That will piss everybody off. This is a very important line, chat. This is a thing that you guys need to remember as well. This was not their fault. It's Cygames' fault, okay? And the other thing is this line here. Proposed as a way to get more playable characters in each collab. This is a very, very huge keyword as well, too. This is the reason why I mentioned this yesterday when I was talking to Kaiser yesterday. And I highlighted that as the YouTube video. It's like they're pinning their shit onto us. You see how fucked up that shit is, by the way? Pinning us as part of the problem. Because we wanted more collab characters. And then they're doing this shit. I'm like, fucker, please. God, I fucking hate Cygames for doing all this shit, man, seriously. And also another thing though, like, chat, this is another huge problem when it comes to this game. For those who didn't know, right? Let's look at this again, okay? The first grand character. Let's just look at this, alright? 1, 2, 3, 4. In 1 year, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 again. You see where I'm going? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, what's happening? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's getting somewhere. So, let's turn back the clock a little bit, chat. Remember why the main reason why I said gacha wasn't that bad in this game back in the day? There wasn't that much of these. So you know what that actually allowed me to do at that time, because I was playing very, very much at that given time? You know what it allowed me to do? It allowed me to predetermine where I should get them later on. So like, say for example, like, okay, all right, let's take Lucio, all right? Lucio came out close to the end of 2016, right? Okay? 2016. Let's say I didn't get him at that time. But you know what? Let's try to save up and maybe get him during anniversary. I can actually do that and still not feel bad about it. That's how the gacha was back in the day. That's the reason why I managed to actually spark my Zodiac characters that I did not have in the past. I had to spark for this, I have to spark for this, I have to spark for this. These are the few that I actually had to spark. This was the one that I managed to luck shit, and this one as well. I have to spark for this, I have to spark for this, I have to spark for this. And I did not feel bad for doing that because there was nothing that is happening at that given time. They allowed us to have that much free space to actually allow us to spark as whatever we need at that given time. So it doesn't feel bad that you're missing out so much new shit. You understand where I'm getting to, right? That's why I felt like at that given time, back in 2016, 2017, right? Or even 2018, the gacha didn't even feel that bad at that given time. We were still getting a lot of shit. Maybe not as much as 2020 onwards or whatever. We were not getting that much stuff. We still had like the free stuff. We still had like Roulette too. Technically, Roulette came out in like 2018, I think, yeah. 2018, I think, if I recall correctly, or was it 2019? It was still relatively chill that I can slowly save up my Spark funds for at least maybe 3 to 6 months to get that one character that I did not get, maybe that is already like 1 year old. Now we go back to this again, where we stopped, 2021, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 1, 2. Now this is the worst one, by the way. 2023 was the worst one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then they say we're gonna not put that much anymore. You see how it's constantly growing no matter what? You see how bad this is turning into? But yeah, now you see why this is actually really, really bad, especially for the newer players. As much as I don't really want to burst a lot of new players bubble, right? As much as I don't want to do that, you want to have fun, you can definitely still have fun. But like, if you think that you want to try to get to say like where we are right now, right? Like to be endgame and still be fine with it and stuff. Oh man, it's almost impossible for you to hit that now. That is especially if you're trying to be a free-to-play player as well. If you want to do that, you have to luck shit a lot. Like say for example, right? What I meant by that as an example. Let's say, right? You just joined like last month. This thing, you do not have these characters. And then also you like, yeah, do not have good characters like these. How are you gonna get them? They're not sparkable outside of 3% banner now. The only way for them to be obtainable is from any bursary ticket. Outside of that, it's almost impossible. So it's actually impossible for like newer players to actually catch up in terms of like getting into the meta. It's almost physically impossible unless you wallets like crazy. And this is just like the YouTube chat said. And this is just characters we are talking about. I haven't even gotten to the summons yet. And this is not just the limited seasonal summer whatever character summons. What I'm referring to is these guys. These guys. The ones that you cannot get them. The unsparkable ones. I haven't even got to these yet. They are growing in the pool too. Don't forget, the pool is getting bigger with these guys too. This you have to remember, summons is the whaler, supposedly whaler territory. These are all the shit. Because it's impossible for us to get. Unless you ka-ching like crazy and hopefully you just see it. Or you just zero ticks. Because you know, if whalers, they have a lot of gold moons anyway based on how many sparks they went through, right? It's funny that I'm actually thinking back now that I actually kind of brushed it aside. I remember I was just coping the fact that it was getting better. But I remember Najik was telling me about this said dilution of the pool. He was actually telling me already a long time ago. My crewmate Najik.